Welcome, and thank you so much for joining us in another story from long ago. Tell me, where are you listening from? And what time is it right now? Comment below and let us know. Tonight, we unlock the lavish chambers of medieval queens to reveal the grotesque hygiene secrets they kept hidden behind velvet drapes and gilded mirrors. Imagine perfumed halls thick with incense smoke, heavy gowns brushing over damp stone, and whispered screams lost beneath the hush of courtly intrigue. Close your eyes and step into a world where beauty was bought with filth. In the shadowy chambers of medieval castles, a secret world of royal filth festered beneath the glittering facade. The stench of unwashed bodies mingled with the cloying sweetness of perfume, a nauseating cocktail that clung to the air like a poisonous mist. Here, in the realm of queens and courtiers, hygiene was a forgotten luxury, replaced by a grotesque pageantry of grime and decay. The wooden tub stood silent in the corner, its surface stained with the accumulated filth of countless baths. It waited, patient and foreboding, for the rare occasion when a queen would deign to cleanse her royal flesh. These moments were few and far between, reserved only for the most momentous of occasions. A coronation, perhaps, or a royal wedding. The rest of the time, the tub remained a silent sentinel, witnessing the slow rot of regal bodies. As the queen approached, her gown rustling softly against the stone floor, the air grew thick with anticipation. Servants scurried about, their eyes averted from the spectacle about to unfold. The wooden planks of the tub creaked ominously as they were filled with steaming water, the heat causing the stains of past ablutions to release their pungent memories into the air. The queen's fingers, adorned with jewels that glittered in the dim light, traced the rim of the tub. Her nails, yellowed and cracked, caught on the rough wood, sending a shiver of revulsion down her spine. As she disrobed, layers of silk and velvet falling away to reveal skin mottled with dirt and neglect, the true extent of her filth became apparent. Weeks of grime had accumulated on her royal form, creating a second skin of sweat, oil, and decay. As she lowered herself into the water, it turned murky almost instantly. Clouds of dirt billowing up from her body like ink in clear water. The queen's face remained impassive, accustomed to this rare ritual of cleansing, even as the water around her became a soup of her own filth. But bathing was a fleeting respite from the constant assault of odors that plagued the royal court. In the absence of regular washing, queens and courtiers alike turned to a more insidious form of hygiene, the liberal application of perfume. These scents, heavy and oppressive, were not the delicate fragrances we know today, but rather potent concoctions designed to overpower the stench of unwashed bodies. Musk and ambergris, extracted from the glands of animals and the intestines of whales, formed the base of these olfactory weapons. Their animalic notes, rich and earthy, were blended with spices and resins to create a scent so powerful it could make eyes water and throats constrict. As the queen emerged from her bath, still damp and already beginning to accumulate a fresh layer of grime, her ladies-in-waiting approached with bottles of this noxious elixir. The perfume was sprayed liberally, coating every inch of the queen's body in a fine mist. It settled on her skin like a second skin, a fragrant armor against the inevitable return of body odor. The scent clung to her hair, her clothes, even the air around her, creating a bubble of artificial freshness in a world of decay. But even this potent shield was not enough to fully mask the realities of medieval hygiene. As the queen donned her elaborate gowns, a silent army of parasites stirred to life. The silk and velvet that adorned her royal form were not just symbols of wealth and status, but also perfect habitats for thousands of lice and fleas. These tiny creatures made their homes in the folds and seams of the queen's clothing, feasting on her blood and multiplying in the warm, dark recesses of her garments. With each movement, the queen unknowingly disturbed their colonies, sending them scurrying across her skin in a maddening dance of irritation. The itching was constant, a maddening sensation that even royalty could not escape. In quiet moments, when the eyes of the court were turned away, the queen would scratch furiously at her skin, her nails leaving angry red welts in their wake. But to scratch openly was beneath her dignity, and so she suffered in silence, her face a mask of regal composure, even as her body crawled with unseen invaders. The parasites were not content to remain hidden within the queen's clothing. They leapt from person to person with gleeful abandon, spreading through the court like a plague. No one was immune, from the lowest servant to the highest noble. All were united in their infestation. The constant scratching became a sort of secret language among courtiers, a shared misery that transcended rank and station. As night fell and the queen retired to her chambers, the true extent of her filth became apparent. Her ladies-in-waiting helped her remove the layers of clothing, each garment heavy with the weight of sweat, dirt, and countless tiny bodies. The air in the room grew thick with the stench of unwashed flesh and the sickly sweet notes of perfume gone rancid. The queen's bed, a grand affair of silk and velvet, was itself a breeding ground for vermin. As she lay down to sleep, the mattress shifted beneath her, alive with the movement of countless unseen creatures. The sheets, changed perhaps once a season, were stiff with dried sweat and other bodily fluids, crackling softly as the queen settled in for the night. In the flickering light of a single candle, shadows danced across the queen's face, highlighting the lines of fatigue and the subtle signs of decay. Her skin, pale and waxy in the dim light, bore the marks of a life lived in filth, small sores from flea bites, patches of irritated skin from constant scratching, and the faint discoloration that comes from years of accumulated grime. As sleep finally claimed her, the queen's body relaxed, but the world of filth around her continued its relentless march. In the dark corners of the room, rats scurried, drawn by the scent of decay. Insects buzzed lazily through the air, settling on exposed skin to feast. And deep within the folds of her nightgown, the lice and fleas continued their endless cycle of feeding and breeding. This was the hidden reality of royal life in medieval times, a world where even the most powerful were not immune to the ravages of poor hygiene. The glittering crowns and jeweled scepters were merely distractions from the grim truth that lay beneath. In the end, queens and paupers alike were united in their struggle against the ever-present tide of filth and decay. As dawn broke and a new day began, the cycle would start anew. The queen would rise, don her perfume-soaked gowns, and present herself to the world as a paragon of beauty and grace. But beneath the facade, the dark secrets of royal hygiene would continue to fester, a silent reminder of the true cost of power in a world where cleanliness was a luxury few could afford. As candlelight flickers on tarnished combs, deeper horrors await blood-soaked masks and toxic cosmetics. Let us descend further into the royal chambers of shame. In the shadowy chambers of medieval castles, where the air hangs heavy with the stench of damp velvet and decaying ambition, queens whisper their darkest beauty secrets. The pursuit of perfection exacts a terrible toll, etching its price into pale, poisoned flesh. Lead oxide face paint, a ghostly mask of death, clings to royal skin like a lover's desperate embrace. Each application seeps deeper, a toxic caress that slowly ravages body and mind. The queen's reflection grows ever paler, a porcelain doll with eyes that shine with an unnatural, fevered light. Her hands tremble as she applies another layer, the brush scraping against her cheek with a sound like dry leaves skittering across a tomb. The paint's sickly sweet aroma mingles with the musty air, a perfume of decay that clings to her gowns and lingers in empty corridors. Courtiers avert their eyes, whispering of madness behind ornate fans. But still, she persists, for in this world of shadows and daggers, beauty is power, even if it kills her by inches. As night falls, servants prepare a different torment. Wax, heated to a molten sheen, awaits its royal victim. The queen grits her teeth as it's poured over her face, searing heat that promises smoothness, but delivers only agony. She bites back a scream, tasting blood, as the wax hardens into a suffocating mask. When it's finally peeled away, taking wisps of skin with it, her face is raw and red, but there's no time to heal. A poultice of clay and dung is slathered on, meant to soothe and refine. Instead, it burns like fire, the acrid stench of animal waste filling her nostrils and coating her tongue. She gags silently, tears cutting trails through the remnants of her toxic paint. Morning brings little relief. The queen's mouth is a landscape of pain, teeth aching with decay that no amount of sugar-crusted comfits can mask. A servant approaches with a clay jug, filled with vinegar so sharp it makes eyes water from across the room. The queen tilts her head back, allowing the caustic liquid to slosh against her gums and tongue. She fights the urge to retch as the vinegar strips away layers of soft tissue, leaving her mouth feeling scoured and raw. But the pain of rotting teeth momentarily recedes, and that small mercy is worth the price. When the burning subsides, crushed snail slime is packed around her gums, a slimy, gritty paste that's supposed to promote healing. The queen can taste corruption on her tongue, imagining the countless microscopic creatures writhing in the slime, burrowing into her flesh. But she endures, for a royal smile must be bright, even if it's built on a foundation of suffering and decay. In quiet moments, when the weight of the crown feels unbearable, she wonders if it's worth it. The constant pain, the slow poisoning, the knowledge that each beauty treatment brings her closer to the grave. But then she catches sight of herself in a polished silver mirror, skin pale as moonlight, lips stained an unnatural crimson, eyes glittering with a dangerous allure. And she knows. In this world of intrigue and betrayal, where a queen's power can vanish in a heartbeat, beauty is armor. It's a weapon. It's survival. And so she will endure, painting on her mask of toxic perfection each day, even as it slowly kills her. The scent of roses, sickly sweet and cloying, fails to mask the underlying rot. It permeates the queen's chambers, a constant reminder of the price of royal beauty. Petals float in her bath, their delicate beauty a stark contrast to the harsh reality of her regimen. As twilight approaches, a new torment awaits. Leeches, fat and glistening, are applied to her skin. They writhe and suck, drawing out what the physicians claim is bad blood. The queen watches with detached fascination as they grow bloated, feeling a perverse kinship with these creatures that feed on suffering. When they're finally plucked away, leaving angry red marks in their wake, she feels lightheaded and weak. But her skin glows with an ethereal pallor that will be the envy of the court. She smiles, a brittle thing that doesn't reach her eyes, knowing that this moment of triumph is fleeting. Night falls, and the queen retires to her bed, its velvet hangings heavy with dust and secrets. She lies awake, listening to the scurrying of rats in the walls and feeling the slow burn of poison in her veins. Tomorrow, she will rise and do it all again, for a queen's beauty is her greatest weapon and her heaviest burden. In the oppressive silence of her chambers, she allows herself a moment of vulnerability. A single tear escapes, cutting a path through layers of lead paint and crushed pearl powder. It tastes of bitterness and regret, a salty reminder of the humanity she sacrifices on the altar of royal perfection. But when dawn breaks, painting the sky in hues of blood and gold, the queen will rise. She will don her toxic mask once more, ignoring the tremors in her hands and the ache in her bones. For in this world of daggers in the dark and poison in goblets of wine, a queen's beauty is her shield and her sword. And so the cycle continues, day after day, year after year. The price of beauty grows ever steeper, paid in pain and poison and pieces of her soul. But still she persists, for in the cutthroat world of medieval politics, a queen without beauty is no queen at all. The stench of decay lingers, a constant companion that no amount of perfume can mask. It clings to her gowns, seeps into the castle stones, a testament to the rot that lies beneath the surface of royal splendor. But the queen stands tall, her poisoned smile a beacon in the gloom, a living embodiment of the terrible cost of power. In the end, when death finally comes to claim her, whether by the slow accumulation of toxins or the swift strike of an assassin's blade, she will face it with the same regal bearing that has defined her life. For even in death, a queen must be beautiful, a final, haunting image to etch itself into the annals of history. And so she waits, this queen of toxic beauty, trapped in a prison of her own making. The weight of the crown presses down, a constant reminder of the sacrifices demanded by power. But she endures, for that is what queens do. They suffer in silence, they bleed behind closed doors, and they emerge each morning with a smile as bright and brittle as shattered glass. In the shadowy world of medieval courts, where beauty is both weapon and weakness, the queen reigns supreme. Her toxic allure captivates and terrifies in equal measure, a living testament to the lengths one will go to maintain power. And as the candles gutter and the night grows long, she whispers her darkest secrets to the uncaring stones, knowing that her legacy will be written not in deeds or words, but in the haunting, poisoned beauty that was both her triumph and her downfall.